The artwork is part of the Erosion series, and it was first featured in the Triennale in Milano. And what was really fascinating, the pieces were aligned next to an ice lake. They really looked like they came, some of them really looked like they were part of the installation in the same space. The interesting part about these works is, again, the materiality. What I really like as an artist, that we can explore to work with many different materials, and it's really a learning process. These works are made in Murano, and first I made a mold of each work, and then we selected pigments and residue that was mixed into the glass process, and a couple of pieces are divided in the middle, so it really looks like almost like broken ice, and they have this really amazing materiality when you touch them. Even though they are sharp corners in the works, somehow they feel very organic and soft. We are talking about a material that is, basically 90% natural. It's made from sand and pigment. The relationship of the glassworks to the climate change is it is not something that is in any way a pollutant work. So if the work goes back into the ground, whatever is going to happen, it's going to, if there is an earthquake or if it gets thrown, it will go into many pieces. If it stays under the earth in thousands of years, it will be exactly the same. So again, it's a material that is very ecological to use, and the process is fire, and then the cooling system is water, and drying with air. And I find this an amazing material to work with. Also, it goes very far back. The first glass pieces, I don't have the exact time actually when, but it goes really far back, and many extraordinary pieces have been excavated in Greece and Egypt actually. What people are very surprised is the real close resemblance of the work that I produce with nature. One of the works is black, very dark, it's very deep. It looks like almost like a rock, or it could look of a very highly, I can say, polluted piece of ice from the output of the carbon output from the jet stream onto the ground. But what is really amazing is the closeness of the works to nature, and again it is sourced entirely from natural materials, as I mentioned before. What's very interesting, my first three exhibitions have been called Light 1, Light 2, Light 3. So glass is a material that absorbs light in an extraordinary way. I think the only other material that is even more extreme is a cut diamond or crystals. And the way, the magic of how the work is changing, even in daylight with the course of the sun, or when we light it artificially, is the many colors that a no color, a totally neutral looking work can create. You really find almost every facet of the rainbow in some of these works. Glass is a relatively hard material, and it's a material strange enough. When it's crafted, it's soft, it's liquid. So again, what is super interesting is how we can shape the glass. And glass can have many ways to be used, and in science, in every science lab, you find glass containers, glass tubes for research. So it's a material that is, in one way, they can turn into a piece of art, they can turn into a utilitarian material for us, for our daily life. And again, in daily life, it can be shaped in a total luxury product. It's a product that you can recycle from any size. It could go back to the earth, and then you can reuse it, reburn it, create a new liquid and reshape it however you want. Well, maybe you can go back to the Ice Age, because that was very earliest human activity that we know. So imagine they worked on a piece of ice, and they saw it, and it stayed in their environment during the cold months. So the only way to preserve that is basically by resculpting, at that time, resculpting a stone from that shape. Later on, at very early ages where the first glass pieces were made, they were made for objects to preserve things in order to pray to the gods or give to them gods. And you find a lot of these small containers that are very earth-like in the civilization, especially in Greece and Egypt, where they became household items or items that went into the graves along with the bodies. They were very, very precious amphores that were made in glass. Glass is a natural ingredient that symbolizes the environment. Molding it symbolizes the human activity. The mold is totally hand-shaped. So you have the human activity molding the elements coming from nature in an extreme heating process, which is fire, one of the natural elements, And then glass has this unique ability to take this incredibly perfect shape from the mold. Unlike ceramic, because with ceramic often there is a big surprise element, the outcome is a combination of natural elements combining human activity. The human activity with the materiality takes its shape, and when it's revealed, it's this sculpture that then is fed by light, which again, it's whether the sun, it could be the sun, the moon, it could be shadows reflecting and giving it life.